guys, Nike here. This is a build guide I've wanted to do for a while. I was hoping that End of Dragons would be giving us a particular new stat set that would help this build out, so that's why I've been holding off on doing it. But it does appear that we will not be getting the particular stat set that I was hoping for with End of Dragons. So there's no reason to sit on this build any longer. So I just wanted to go ahead and get this out there for you. This isn't going to be as long or as thorough as some of my other build guides, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. This is particularly the open world build for Warrior that I've been playing and having the most fun with. So hopefully this gives you guys something to play while you're unlocking your Bladesworn when End of Dragons comes out. So without further ado, let's get into it and discuss the gear. So we are going to be using an interesting mix of gear. It's going to be berserkers, armor, and weapons, except for the chest and the legs, which are going to be assassins, and all of the trinkets are going to be assassin. The reason we do this is so that in open world we will get 100% chance to crit without banner or spotter. Very important that we have that. The weapons are going to be a greatsword with Sigil of Accuracy and Sigil of Force, and a dagger with Sigil of Strength, and a shield with Sigil of Accuracy. Dagger is optional. You can use axe if you prefer axe. I personally prefer dagger because it has a little bit more CC than axe, and it only gives up a little bit of damage. I think it's got a little bit of a better balance for what we would need in open world, because sometimes when you're solo in open world, you're going to have to break the break bars out there all by yourself, and having a little bit of extra CC on your swap set is going to carry you pretty far. So anyway, guys, that's basically it for the gear, and let's get into rates. For specializations, we are going to take Strength, Tactics, and Spellbreaker. This is a build that is going to very much balance damage, support, and survivability, and not try to go full min-max on damage or full min-max on tankiness. It's going to really try to cut the middle ground there, and you'll see with some of the choices as we explain them. In Strength, we're going to take Peak Performance. That's just going to give us a nice damage boost. Can't go wrong with that. We're going to take Forceful Greatsword, which is going to give us some power and a lot of might. We will definitely enjoy the might on crit. And then we are going to take as our Grandmaster, Might Makes Right, which is you gain back some HP and also some of your endurance bar when you apply might to yourself. Since we have 100% crit chance, and we're getting might on crit from Forceful Greatsword, we are going to be healing for quite a bit, and we're going to have essentially enough endurance to always be able to dodge when we need to. Now you can sort of see the theme of the build here. The build is going to be based around powering Might Makes Right to give us near infinite sustain, and it's pretty great. Tactics, we are going to take Soldier's Comfort. The Soldier's Focus is going to heal allies for about 1,000, including ourselves. And essentially, you don't need to really get into the mechanics of what Soldier's Focus is. Just know that essentially every 10 seconds, you are going to be able to use a burst. Once every 10 seconds when you use a burst skill, you're going to essentially heal your allies with Soldier's Comfort. And as well as granting might to your allies, including yourself. which will heal you for even more. So quite a bit of sustain coming out of those two traits. Then we get Empower Allies. It's going to increase the power of everyone around us, including ourselves, by 100. So it's a little bit of DPS for us. And when you're roaming around the world, playing with other couple people in your party, or just happen to stumble upon a group event, you're going to help people out, and that's always a good thing. And then Mending Might. This is an important trait. Applying Might to an ally heals you. So when we apply Might to an ally, we get healed ourselves. This is very good. It synergizes well with Might Makes Right. So how do we apply Might to an ally? Well, that's where we have our Grandmaster trait, Failing Strength. When we grant Might to ourselves, we grant it to our allies as well. Considering with Forceful Greatsword that we are going to get Might on every crit that we do, which is every attack that we do, and we're going to give Might to our allies, and we're also going to get it for ourselves. So we're going to be healing for 69 with Mending Might every time we crit, and then we're also going to be healing for 133 with Might Makes Right every time that we crit. So we're going to be healing for over 200 HP every time we connect with our weapon. And if we could cleave and we get into a situation where we're cleaving 3 enemies at once with our greatsword, oh my gosh, the healing goes through the roof. So you can kind of see where we're going with this build. You can take a hit and you will heal yourself up very quickly. And then in Spellbreaker, we're going to take Pure Strike, which is going to increase our crit damage. Very good thing since we're always critting. Full Counter, or Slow Counter I should say, is our major trait. This is going to help us with our CC. We are going to really be able to solo carry a lot of CC with our swap set, which we'll talk about in the gameplay. And then our elite is our Grandmaster is Mage Bane Tether, which essentially is going to either be CC if we need it, or mostly what we're going to be doing is it's going to be a passive way to pump Might to ourselves. And as you can imagine, having Might pumped to yourself, quite good. Because not only is it going to give us more Might, which makes us do more damage, it's also going to passively heal us. And since we have Failing Strength, it's going to passively give Might to everyone around us. So we are a Might machine, and essentially we aren't going anywhere. So that is basically it for the traits. Now we look at the skills. We are going to be using Greatsword. This is our main damage set. You want to stay and camp Greatsword as much as possible. You do not want to swap weapons on cooldown. This is your bread and butter. You just stay on Greatsword and you do your damage. Your weapon swap for Dagger Shield, this is your CC set. You have a big CC with Shield Bash, and you have a big CC with Disrupting Stab. If you do need to break bars, that's what you are going to this for. Otherwise, you are going to just use your auto attacks, and I guess you have some more soft CC from Aura Slicer, although it's not that a second and a half of slow isn't gonna really break a break bar, but nonetheless. And then you're gonna do as many attacks as you can. Your third auto attack in the chain will give Might, which is pretty good. You're getting 2 stacks of Might, so it's not too bad in conjunction with Forceful Greatsword and the Strength Sigil. You can make quite a bit of Might in this set as well. And then lastly, you should remember that Shield Stance is a 3-second basically invuln, which is going to get you out of a lot of sticky situations. Now for the utility skills, we're going to take Healing Signet. This is going to give us some more passive heals, and feel free to swap it for any of the heals that you want situationally. If you're in a place with a lot of conditions, definitely go with Mending. If you're in a place where Defiant Stance can be particularly good, go for that, but the default is going to be Healing Signet. Next we want Signet of Fury and Signet of Might. These are just passive damage boosts, help us get to 100% crit chance, and give us a lot of stats. Additionally, you can, if you're going to be into a fight where you want to get your burst skill off early, you can use Signet of Fury to give you a full adrenaline boost, but it really shouldn't be needed because our burst skills, since we don't have Berserker's Power, aren't exactly something that you have to use. It's just something that you want to use because they're good damage. Next we have For Great Justice. This is going to give us Fury and a lot of Might, and as we know, the Might is going to additionally heal us, and it's also going to help everyone around us do more damage. So Fury and Might, this is a very good thing for us. And then we have Signet of Rage, which of course it also gives us Fury and Might, and actually a little bit of Swiftness, which is nice because we don't really have access to Swiftness anywhere else. And since we don't have Discipline, we don't have Warrior's Sprint to give us a little bit of movement speed. I am assuming that everyone playing this is going to have at least the Raptor mount, and therefore Swiftness isn't quite as important to have as it would be otherwise in the vanilla game. But Fury, Might, these are good things. So yeah, that is it for traits. As far as gameplay goes, there's really not much to say. You want to attack as much as you can with your greatsword skills. You want to use your dodges to avoid big hits. You want to swap your weapon sets to use CC skills and get your invuln and your shield stance. And then remember, full counter, very important. In PvE, full counter hits like a truck. You want to use it whenever it's available and whenever you can. It will also CC very hard when it goes off, and it will CC in an AoE. So if you're surrounded by a bunch of mobs, you can use full counter. You will stun them all. You will apply a lot of debuffs to them, and it will give you the opportunity to heal up quite a bit, and probably proc Soldier's Focus, which is going to give a heal to you. Full counter whenever it's available and whenever it's possible to ensure it procs. The worst thing you can do is use full counter and channel it and not have it proc. So make sure when you do use it that you are going to get a use out of it. But otherwise, guys, this isn't very complicated. No DPS rotations needed. Obviously, your best skills are 100 Blades and Whirlwind Attack. They're going to do the most damage. And just kill stuff. This is a fun, simple, straight-up build. You just kill stuff with a greatsword. You juice up everyone around you with big stacks, with 25 stacks of Might, with Fury, and you do it all the while being almost impossible to kill. So yeah, that's it, guys. I really enjoy playing this build. When End of Dragons goes live, I will be streaming, and until I unlock Bladesworn, I will be playing this build. And so hopefully on launch day, you guys aren't too busy and you'll drop by the stream and say what's up. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.